media, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us today at this end of year press conference. I also want to express the hope that you have had so far an enjoyable holiday season. As we conclude 2024, it is important to take a moment to assess what has been happening in the agriculture sector and the significant progress made within Guyana agricultural sector over the past year. Despite adverse climatic conditions, drought, almost 7 months or more, our sector has demonstrated notable resilience, operational efficiencies, and sustainable growth. This year, we have successfully advanced key initiatives that began in 2020, supported by sustainable investment in infrastructure, technology, and research. This year's budget of $97.6 billion has been strategically targeted to enhance productivity, strengthen value chains, and improve the livelihoods of farmers and all stakeholders across the country. We are here today to present a detailed overview of the sector's performance, highlighting the technical advancement achieved, and discuss our strategic priorities for the coming year as we continue to position Guyana's agriculture sector for long-term sustainability and regional competitiveness. We should also remember not so long ago, we have lost just before or just after 2015, we have seen Guyana had lost its place in CARICOM. We have lost the leadership that Guyana normally gave to CARICOM in relation to this important sector. Notwithstanding that, after losing our voice in CARICOM, in 2020, after August, we have seen that voice was restored, that position was restored to Guyana, and with the energetic and robust leadership by His Excellency Dr. Ali and the regional front, it has not only solidified Guyana's increasing stature as the regional agriculture giant, but present the opportunity beyond our shores for enhanced trade and commerce. Today, we have seen almost all the countries in CARICOM, they are looking forward to Guyana for that leadership. They are looking forward to Guyana in terms of harnessing their potential, because as we know, many of those countries, their economies were built on directly on tourism. We have also seen significant development and progress have been made by the PPP civic government together with the private sector and bilateral partners to invest in innovative, high-value projects that will enhance the agriculture sector to address the changing needs of the economy on a global scale. Through CARICOM and bilateral partnership, Guyana has expanded its collaboration with neighboring countries, facilitating knowledge sharing, research, and technology transfer. This includes shared agricultural initiatives focused on resilience, food security, and export-driven growth, strengthening the region's ability to meet food security goals. Guyana had bilateral collaboration with a number of CARICOM member states. Some of those states are Trinidad and Tobago, Antigua, Barbuda, St. Lucia, Grenada, Barbados, St. Kitts, Nevis, to name a few. And on the international scene, we have seen engaged collaboration with international partners, some of which were Brazil, Chile, Cuba, United States of America, United Kingdom, Kenya, India, Israel, Mexico, United Arab Emirates, to name a few. If I could start with an important commodity for Guyana, rice. Under the PPP civic government, we are seeing improvement in farmers' investment in the rice industry in Guyana. With policies supported from the government, there have been improved output and improvement in the ability of the country to compete in the world rice market. Due to continued improvements in rice varieties, production practices, and milling efficiencies, Guyana continues to be a strong competitor in the world export market for rice. Rice production reached a record high of 725,282 metric tons, January to December 2024. And I want to say that this is a record-breaking production. Since the introduction of rice production in our country, we have surpassed the 700,000 ton mark. With an average national yield of 6.6 tons per hectare, the highest ever recorded in the country's history. We have increased yield from 5.7 tons in 2020 to 6.6 tons per hectare in 2024. For the last 4 years, we have seen an incremental increase in rice production. In 2021, we produced a total of 559,789 tons. In 2022, we produced 610,595 tons. In 2023, we produced 653,706 tons. And in 2024, I just said, we produced 725,282 tons. We have exported 425,490 tons of rice and byproduct to 30 countries with a value of $254,036,050 United States dollars from January to December. We have also seen a number of new markets that we have captured. We have also seen tremendous improvement in the farmers' lot. For example, we were able to settle the APNU-AFC mismanagement of the Panama and the Petrocaribbean deal that was signed under the previous PPP civic government. When the APNU-AFC assumed office, these two markets were the two most lucrative markets for the farmers that were negotiated by the PPPC government. They have lost those markets. This mismanagement of these markets resulted in non-payments to farmers. For example, for the Panamanian market, the farmers were owed $1.5 billion. This was, of course, significant losses to the industry, which resulted in some of the rice milling and rice millers going bankrupt. A number of those entities were forced to close. With the intervention of the President and the PPP civic government, we were able to settle the Panamanian rice problem, and this happened in 2018. So the farmer had to wait 6 years for the Panama debt of $1.5 billion to settle. And in September of this year, we were able to pay the 19 rice millers and exporters who would have exported their paddy and rice to Panama in 2018. Those were settled by the PPP civic government. Then again, you know for a fact that under the previous government, we lost the Petrocaribbean market. And as a result of that, a number of farmers were owed because they would have purchased from a number of millers were owed, they would have purchased from the farmers paddy, and 27 farmers and 5 millers were owed a total of $437 million. Here again, we had to work overtime to get this matter resolved, and only last Saturday, I was able to meet with those farmers. I met with them, and we were able to execute that payment of $437 million to 27 farmers and 5 millers. These farmers and millers had to wait 9 years to receive their payment. Also in the area of rice, we have seen new varieties were developed over the last 3 years. For this year, 2024, we have developed a new variety, the GRDB18, with a yield potential of 7 to 9 tons per hectare. This was launched in October of 2024. Since 2020, we have released 3 new varieties, GRDB16, GRDB18, and the biofortified rice, GRDB17. All have yield potential between 7 to 9 tons per hectare. And the biofortified rice is where we now grow in the zinc, the supplement in that variety. Also, we have seen increased capacity of our seed paddy facilities at the various locations. We have seed paddy facilities at Burma, MMA, Blackbush Polder, and number 56, with a capacity to produce 152,000 bags per annum. Government assistance. We have also, as I said, we must never forget what has happened to the rice farmers between 2015 to 2020. That period, we have seen the previous government dubbed rice farmer or rice farming as a private business. We know for a fact, with the support that we have given to the rice industry, that is why we are seeing the kind of results that we have seen. For example, farmers were required to pay increased land rental and D&I charges, especially in the MMA scheme. We must always remember those things, from $3,500 per acre to $15,000 per acre. When we were in the opposition, we took a motion to the parliament to reverse that, which was voted down. When we get back into government, we reverse that. Because of that reversal, farmers were able to save billions of dollars in that area. Although we have seen increase in land rental and D&I charges, most of the infrastructure in the MMA scheme were in a dilapidated state. From 2022 to 2024, 1.850 billion were allocated to farmers in terms of support, fertilizer, seed, chemical, pesticide, and things like that. In 2025, we all know that the president has announced another $2 billion subsidies for fertilizer to be distributed to farmers, rice farmers, cash crop farmers. We have already put out tenders for that, and that will be done very shortly in the new year. We will start the distribution of those fertilizers to farmers. We have trained 5,221 farmers, received training from GRDB. These training sessions cover various areas such as pest and disease management, mechanization possibilities, and crop management. We also targeted 146 farmers who had low yield, and we are putting them in a low-yielding farmers project, where we are working with them to develop their lot so that they can increase their yield per hectares. So that, by itself, in the rice industry, we have seen tremendous improvement. We have seen tremendous progress this year. As a matter of fact, for the first time, I want to say I'm very proud of it, that we have reached that level of production in rice. In sugar, we are very I want to be very objective here. We are very dissatisfied with the way we have been performing in sugar. Gaisuco have been performing. I want to reiterate what the president had said a few days back in an interview. He said that he has already read the Riot Act to the management of Gaisuco. He said that also he let them understand that we are very dissatisfied with the performance, notwithstanding the difficulties that they have faced over the last year. We know that there was a serious drought issue that affected the growth of cane, but he has made it very clear that if the target for 2025 for scrap and the second crop is not achieved, then he will take drastic action. We will take drastic action to ensure that we deal with Gaisuco. We want Gaisuco to ensure that they reduce their cost of production, they achieve their targets. That is why we have technical support. We have brought in technical support also for them. We have a set of technical expertise from India and Cuba working along with Gaisuco. We have also seen that the mechanization program for Gaisuco has been intensified. That's the way we can increase production, because we have seen also the manual production or manual way of doing these activities will not enhance productivity. So, to date, Gaisuco mechanization program, we have land conversion. They have achieved 40% already. And they told me that to increase production and reach their target for the new year, to enhance operational efficiency and productivity, they have developed a set of strategies to work there. Some of those to implement a strategy to increase the canes per hectare by adopting double row planting or high density planting techniques. This will maximize land utilization and potentially increase cane yield while reducing the growth of weed. Increase mechanization in planting operations, shift from predominantly manual and semi-mechanized planting method to more extensive mechanized approaches. This will enable simultaneous fertilizer application during the planting, reducing costs while enhancing crop health. They will also procure these mechanical harvesters. They will procure 2 new billet harvesters in the new year. They will also allocate more resources to upgrade the various factories. And we know for a fact that that is also a limitation they have had, because there was no investment, capital investment in these factories from period 2015 to 2020. As a result of that, many factories were limping along, and we had a lot of parts that need to be changed, and now Gaisuco is working very aggressively to get those things rectified. So I'm hoping that in the new year, Gaisuco can turn around their fortune. At least they should achieve their targets that they will set for the new year. And we are hoping that with all the support that we have given to Gaisuco, they will ensure that they make the necessary progress that we want them to make. In the other crops area, we have seen a lot of successes. For example, the coconut industry. The coconut has given prominence. We have seen a lot of improvement in coconut cultivation. As a matter of fact, for the last 4 years, we have increased coconut production by 7,113 acres since 2020. Total acreage under cultivation as of December 2024 is approximately 33,000 acres. In 2024, the Hope Coconut Estate performed exceptionally well, having produced approximately 51,320 coconut seedlings by the end of December. Importation of seed nut, we have also imported 63,000 high-yielding Brazilian green dwarf, Philippine green dwarf, and Brazilian hybrid seed nuts to boost Guyana coconut production capacity. And we have been working with farmers across the country, especially places like the Pomeroon, to enhance coconut cultivation there. And we have had very good results from farmers there. As a result of that, we have seen increased production of coconut over the last 4 years. Also, we have seen a lot of value-added product being generated from the coconut industry. We are seeing now that the Hope Coconut Estate, they are producing coconut fiber and coconut peat using coconut husk through the year. This is to enhance the growth of the plant, helping farmers to enhance the growth of the plant. We have bought a number of machines, these coconut peat machines, that we are giving out to farmers across the country. In the area of other crops also, we are constructing a tissue culture lab at Nari, at Manripo there. We have signed a contract with the Energy Resource Institute of India at a cost of $402.5 million. Now, this project has commenced since 2020, since the 20th of March 2024. The cost for the building is $179 million, with the equipment will cost us $223 million. I am hoping, or we are hoping, that this building will be operational by the first quarter of 2025. Now, when this is completed, it will have a capacity to produce millions of planting material, or plantlets as you call it. As it stands now, we are just producing just below 15,000 plantlets annually, because we have nurseries across the country, almost approximately 11 nurseries, but they don't have the capacity to produce like these. So this will produce, and this will be here a game changer for us, because it will produce a number of crops that we want, things like pineapple, plantain, breadfruit, sweet potato, coconut, blackberries, a number of other projects, even cane plants. This tissue culture lab will produce. Also, it will also enable the first-time large-scale cultivation of cassava, citrus, cut flower, roses, ginger, turmeric, strawberries, and raspberries. Those are things that we normally import. So this will help us to reduce our food import bill with the type of planting material that we'll be producing at the tissue culture lab. And also this will be, these things will be produced with without any pests or disease. You know, these planting material normally attract these things. This here will help us to diversify Guyana's agricultural output and support the growing demand for both local and export market. You know for a fact, as I said, that with the leadership that is being extended by the Guyana in terms of in agriculture, we have seen a number of countries now looking forward to us to develop their agricultural sector. And what we are doing, as the President always said, that we are not only building these facilities for Guyana, but we are building it for regional countries also will benefit. We have seen in the crop like cassava, we have seen tremendous transformation. For example, over the last year, we have increased cassava yield from 18 tons per hectare to 30 tons per hectare. And we have seen massive production of cassava, this crop here. So much so that, for example, from 2019, we had 3,226 acres cultivated. In 2024, that has, we have doubled that to 6,000 acres. But the point is that we have doubled it to 6,000 acres, but then we have increased it from 18 tons per hectare to 30 tons per hectare. So we have produced almost 4 times the amount we used to produce in 2019. We are also building, as I am speaking here, a cassava processing facility at Parika. That area, Region 3, is an area that produces most of the cassava coming out of Region 3 areas like Parika, Bagdam. This will assist with over 200 farmers to process their cassava. The cassava processing factory has the capacity to process 20 tons of fresh cassava into cassava flour per 8-hour shift. So this will convert into 5 tons of cassava flour for the local and regional market. So what we'll be doing also, because there are demands for cassava flour, we will be producing, because the amount of cassava we are producing, we will be processing those cassava to make cassava flour so that we can use that also to export. Corn and soya beans, we are hoping by the end of 2025 that Guyana will be produce all its corn and soya for the poultry industry that we currently import. This will be saving approximately $30 million if we can produce all our corn and soya needs by 2025. For 2024, we have cultivated 12,000 acres of corn and soya. We are hoping by next year, 2025, this will increase to 25,000 acres twice annually with a potential for further expansion. To achieve self-sufficiency, Guyana needs to produce 25,000 acres twice per year. As I said, in 2024, we cultivated 12,000 acres. The government has undertaken substantial investment of over in the Takama Savannah area. We have built hundreds of kilometers of road. We have put in the silos there now at 18,000-ton silo. We are presently building a conveyor system with a wharf so that the conveyor system can transport the produce directly onto the ship. Over 40 kilometers of access road we have built in the Takama Savannah. Also, we are working very aggressively by the middle of next year that we can be self-sufficient in producing all our black-eyed peas and red beans. As I am speaking now, works are ongoing on roads in the Kimbia area, where we are working with a private-public partnership. We have already have 2,000 acres of lands earmarked and for red beans and black-eyed peas in that area. Land preparation and application of limestone have already been completed there. As I said, 32 kilometers of the 34-kilometer road is completed. We are building a silos there, a silo with 15,000 tons capacity to store the bean. 200 hectares of black-eyed peas will be sold. The bean will be harvested in March of 2025. So I'm hoping by June next year, by mid-next year, we can be self-sufficient in producing all our black-eyed pea and red beans. We also, at NARI, we have a new soil chemical service, a laboratory, and those were commitments we made in our manifesto when we went to election to improve our agricultural sector, and now we have the capacity to do testing. This was commissioned in October of 2024, and we can do large-scale testing across the country, and NARI is on the verge of starting to do that, to work with farmers to ensure that we do these testing to know what type of soil and what type of crop the farmers can plant in those areas. In the shade house and high-value crop, the AEIP project, the Agriculture Innovation Entrepreneurship Program, 219 new shade houses have been constructed in 2024. The main beneficiary were farmers 96, AIEP Hot Pepper Project 25, Farmers Group 67, 21 in schools, Plant Nursery 6, Cocoa Coffee Nurseries 3, and Children Home Orphanage 1. 603 shade houses were constructed from 2021 to 2024. We also have the largest hydroponic farm in the Caribbean at Manripo. In line with Guyana's commitment to reducing our food import bill by 25% by 2025, NARI has partnered with Victoria Green, a private company, to launch an innovative hydroponic project. This initiative highlights the nation's dedication to sustainable agriculture and food security while promoting economic growth. The hydroponic greenhouse was completed in October of 2023 and features a number of new techniques. It has been fully operational, boasting a capacity to accommodate approximately 100,000 seedlings. That is capacity, 100,000 seedlings you can have. The facility is stocked with 22 types of vegetables, including 5 varieties of lettuce. Spice. A total of $50 million in planting material for all spices were distributed and over 2,000 farmers benefited. Ginger, we had a production of 8,632 metric tons. We are now constructing a building to house the ginger line in Region 1. Work at Parika are ongoing also to do another facility there, where work at Mabaruma, we have 80% completed. We have also seen an increase in turmeric production, 1,267 metric tons we have seen. The 3 turmeric heat pump drying machine has arrived at Nari Manripo. A total of 20,837 pounds of turmeric planting material to 273 farmers were distributed in Region 1 and 4. As we know that in the rural areas, a lot of these programs, all agriculture distribution programs to rural and hinterland community, were halted by the previous government. This significantly affected agricultural development in the country. Since taking office in 2020, we have not only restarted these programs, but we have also revamped them and introduced new ones to ensure that everyone benefits. Cocoa and coffee, we have partnered with ICA, and we have embarked on a cocoa and coffee revitalization program in Guyana with Cate University in Costa Rica. And we are working very, very aggressively now in areas like the Pomeroon area in Region 1, where we have shared out a number of planting material in these coffee varieties that are very, very in demand around the Caribbean. And we are hoping that Guyana will be a major producer of coffee and cocoa in the near future. Also, you all heard that we have started not so long ago the Cutthroat Flower Project. To date, we have seen a revenue of over $7 million coming out of this project, but now we are producing our own cut fresh roses. We have produced a total of 35,230 roses so far. And this project here is a project that a lot of single parents, a lot of female single parents are benefiting from this program. As a matter of fact, Nari sold these roses at a minimum, at a cost of just over $200 to $300 per rose. And it's been resold back in the market just to about $1,500, $2,000 for a rose. So it's helping single parents to be more independent. So also farmer education and support. We have provided a number of input distribution, such as seed, fertilizer, pesticide, fungicides, and other farming equipment to improve farming activity and cash crop production at a cost of $174.5 million. We have built 4 model farms, were established in regions 2, 5, 6, and 10 for staff of NARI to conduct training using demonstration plots of various cash crops, such as celery, broccoli, lettuce, sweet pepper, ginger, and turmeric. As of November 2024, NARI held 368 farmers training sessions, in which 9,475 farmers were trained. NARI has plant nursery across the Guyana. As I said, 11 plant nursery in different parts of the region, but now we are enhancing that and making that bigger with the tissue culture lab. I am hoping that we can, as I said, produce these material not only for Guyana but across the Caribbean too. In fisheries, we have seen a number of success stories also over the years. The fishing sector is an important source of livelihood, employment, food, and nutrition for a large number of Guyanese, as well as maintaining an export market for Guyanese fisheries product. Like many countries worldwide, in recent time we have seen also, not so long ago, we have seen fisher folks in the fishing industry experience some issues, but over the last few months, we have seen catches increasing, and with the help of government to enhance these areas and work with fisher folks to find market for their produce, we have seen an improvement, a lot of improvement in these areas. So also we have recognized the importance of this sector. We have also, as this old saying said, not to put all our eggs in one basket. We simultaneously, while the fishing sector or the marine fishing sector were experiencing these problems, we also start to develop the aquaculture sector. And this here is a success story for us. Aquaculture now is a new industry in Guyana. We have seen the decline in aquaculture almost 6 times between 2015 to 2020. Now we have seen improvement. I will give you the statistics in a few moments to tell you how we have improved here. We have introduced cage culture. When the president talked about cage culture, when he mentioned it, many persons were laughing at him, saying that those things are for places like Vietnam, Thailand, and so. Well, we have introduced it in Guyana, and it has become a very, very successful venture. We had started the pilot project in Mashabo, Mainstay, and Lake Kapoi. We had 8 cages in those areas. Now those cages are making giving substantial help to people in those areas. Supplement the income. One cage is earning approximately $8 million annually. And if you look at our Facebook page, Ministry or the President's Facebook page the other day, we see a number of areas that they are harvesting these fishes, these varieties that we are wearing in the cage, things like tambaki. We are doing a new variety of those. So, as I said, that we have seen massive transformation in the aquaculture industry. In the brackish water shrimp industry last year, we have seen an income of $1.8 billion in rural economy, especially in places like Region 6. This activity started in Region 6, it expanded in Region 6, and now we have other areas people are demanding. I think they went to Region 2 and Region 5, where we'll expand this program. But in 2021, the president called a meeting. The president called a meeting and said that, look, let us work with these people to see how we can enhance their livelihood, because they depend on this brackish water shrimp industry. At that time, they were producing 10,000 kilograms monthly. We started out to enhance their pond. We worked with them, and we had a program where we targeted a number of ponds in Region 6. And to date, we have completed approximately 1,400 acres, or 170 ponds in various areas in Region 6. And we were able to increase production of brackish water shrimp from 92,782 kilograms in 2021 to 1.28 million in 2024 kilograms. So in 2021, we increased from 92,782 that we started out with. In 2022, we increased it to 548,920 kilograms. In 2023, we increased that to 957,945 kilograms. And this year, we have increased it to 1.28 million kilograms. We have increased it. This year we have increased it. This represents an average increase in production of 194% per annum since the commencement of the 2021 project. As I said, this is an old industry. Over 100 years, people used to involve in these activities. As I said, the kale culture is another success here. We had 3 areas. We did the pilot project: Lake Mainstay, Lake Kapoi, and Mashabo. In the next 6 months, we will be placing another 50 cages in a number of other hinterland communities, because we are targeting these indigenous communities to supplement the village economy. So places like Maracabay, Cartabo, and Itabali in Region 7, Napi and Shulinab in Region 9, Rockstone, Riversview, and Falmouth in Region 10, St. Cuthbert Mission in Region 4. Those are the areas that we targeted to place another 50 cages. And this project will have significant impact in generating income and raising the enthusiasm of young people in this community. Also, we have started the production of prawns, Vanami prawns. We have a project at Anvawak, west coast of Berbice, and we have started there. We have 10 ponds, and now we are building our own hatchery. We have our own hatchery that will produce porous larvae that we'll have in those ponds. We are building our own feed mill where we're producing our own feed, and that will enhance, because the production of prawns is very lucrative. And we are working with the private sector. We are working with a number of young people. As a matter of fact, only this morning I had a discussion with the officer that's responsible, and we'll target some young people in Region 5 and 6 to commence a project there so that they can have that project going on for themselves. Also, in the landing site program, we have rehabilitated a number of landing sites, over 100 landing sites across the country. We have improved the facilities there with washroom. We have built sheds. We have built wharf. We have put in solar lighting. We have built ramp in our office building. Again, in 2024, another $300 million was expended for the enhancement and development of all fishery landing sites in Region 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Right here in Georgetown at the Meadowbank Wharf, we are now spending approximately $200 million. NDIA, they are executing some work there. We are doing a brand new wharf at Meadowbank. We are doing sheds there so the fisher folks can have proper facilities. We are doing a tarmac. We have put in washroom facilities. We are changing the entire aesthetic there to improve that facility. And also, we have a 24-hour security there. So people are now more comfortable going to that area there because that is the main fishery area in the capital city. And I am hoping that in another month time from now, we can recommission that and develop those facilities. Other major works we have also done at places like Dikendren, Metamerzag, Ogle, Abari, Blairmont, Mandripo. We did Rosignol. We are now doing a new fishery facilities at Rosignol, a wharf at Rosignol. We have built a ramp at Rosignol. We are now doing storage facility for the fisher folks there. We have constructed landing facility at Blairmont. We have constructed a large facility at number 79 and the quarantine, where fisher folk had their place earlier and it was destroyed. Now we have rebuilt fishery facilities there with wharf, office building, land space, and we are working in a number of other areas to enhance the operation of the fishing activities in our country. We are purchasing these remote monitoring devices, and we are giving to fisher folks to put on their vessels so that we can track them. And we have seen a reduction of piracy over the last 4 years. Because of these devices we have placed and give to these fisher folks, we can always track their vessel, which part of the ocean they are fishing in with. We have also had a number of outreaches and with fisher folks across the country. So generally, we have been working very closely with both the marine industry and also the aquaculture. Now the aquaculture industry is becoming an industry for us in Guyana, where a large number of people are employed. Under the Guyana Livestock Development Authority, we know for a fact that when in 2020, when I became Minister of Agriculture, this area here had starved of funds. Unlike that, we have seen many new programs we have started there. We have started a new program in this country called Embryo Transfer Program, where we have a company, we have signed a contract with a company from Brazil, now that they are doing these embryo transplant. We have our farm at the Ministry of Agriculture, our GLDA farm at Ibini. To date, they have done 238 confirmed pregnancy with 58 calf already aborted. So this here embryo transfer is a sure form of getting your animal pregnant and also getting your delivering on these calf. The black belly sheep program, you know, many questions. Sometimes you've seen social media ask, well, we receive all 1,000 black belly sheep from Barbados. To date, that has increased to 536 now. So we have collected from Barbados 1,000 black belly, 744 ewe, and 256 rams. To date, that has increased to 536 more. So we have 1,536 black belly sheep at our facility. But besides that, we have worked with 158 farmers. The program that the President would have launched at Region 5. We have these farmers in the program, 158 farmers who are benefited from this program, where they were given breeding rams, where they were given other black belly sheep, so that they can also work along with GLDA, and at the end of the period they will supply back to GLDA either a ram or a ewe, these small. So we're working very aggressively. As the President said, that with Barbados and Guyana, we want to develop a brand in Guyana, because we have a lot of New Zealand lamb and Australian lamb coming to this part of the world. Imported, we have also imported breeding bulls, And to date, we have had 248 calves from those breeding bulls that we have given to farmers across the country. Pasture development, we have developed, or we are in the process of develop 28,000 acres, upgrading pasture facilities in regions 3, 5, 6, and 10. In our Black Giant program, we have distributed 116,734 birds. This has been a success story right across the country. The Black Giant chicks have been in demand. We have been working in the, various communities across the country, and we have been giving out these chicks, and it has been increasing tremendously. For the first time last year, we started our hatching egg programs. Last year, we produced 27,000 hatching eggs. Notwithstanding, Guyana is importing approximately 53 million hatching egg annually. So we are working on a program, and I'm hoping by the end of 2025, early 2026, we can produce all our hatching egg needs. We have increased that production this year to 144,886 hatching eggs, broilers hatching eggs. But we are far away from the 53 million. But what we'll be doing shortly, we have started the program, the breeder program we have started in 2023, but that will be intensified in the coming months. So in another 6 months from now, we will be setting up facilities so that we can produce by the end of 2025, early 2026, all our hatching egg needs in Guyana. That will save us tremendously. That will save us tremendously in terms of importing hatching eggs. And you know for a fact that the poultry farmers in our country also sometimes get a serious problem in importing these eggs. They have to go to various parts of the world. We also drill a well at Manripo to take care of our livestock there. We established 6 5-acre pasture at Caboa, West Coast Berbice. We have also we did a feeding lot to fatten animal prior to slaughtering. We improved the DNI at Ellis, a place called Ellis, in Region 5 to provide water supply to the backland. And we constructed a number of access bridges in those areas for easy connectivity. We also constructed 2 in Region 2 and 6 quarantine facilities to facilitate small animal at the port of entry. We purchased duckling and duck eggs. With the expansion of the sector, genetic breeding stock is required to increase production to satisfy the growing demand, specifically the duck breasts. We have also developed and purchased modular duck processing facility, procurement of 5 duck hatcher and incubator, and 1 chick hatcher and incubator. We also procure modular duck processing facility. This is allow for the slaughtering of approximately 500 to 600 birds per day, in keeping with the international best practice. And we know what happened during 2015 to 2022. We have seen a number of areas where activity in this area fell. For example, a lot of taxes, VAT imposed on these inputs. We have seen poultry farmers had to pay a large amount of money in VAT to procure various input for this sector. We have made this sector zero-rated. All the taxes, all the VAT we have removed. In apiculture, this is a transformation taking place in Guyana. We have seen that over the last year, or for the period in review, $120 million was expended to procure PPE and hive equipment to equip 5,000 apiculturists across the country. Only recently, we had a honey fest at in Manripo. We have seen production increase by over 900%. Honey production have increased from 3,000 gallons in 2023 to 30,000 gallons in 2024. 900% increase. And what we are doing, we have 3 specialists working with us from Cuba. We are targeting places like Region 9, Region 1. We are targeting the new mangrove that we are seeing now in the coastal area. And we have had a number of persons coming forward, indicating their interest to get involved. You know, honey is a very lucrative business for us. And we had a lot of fake honey used to come to Guyana. So we are trying to get rid of those now, and we are having real honey produced in Guyana. And we are having these honey being also processed in Guyana. Also, we have seen massive improvement too with the new GMC. We have seen export increase to 7.9 million US dollars, 6,823 metric ton of commodities were exported. We have seen new markets in various parts of the world. And these are our agro-processed goods that we are producing in Guyana, the local produce. Guyana shop for the period January to November, we have seen 159 new agro-processed product launch, new products. 19 new agro-processors began supplying the Guyana shop. We have seen 21 new Guyana shop corners throughout Region 2, 5, 9, and 10. We have also established a new Guyana shop corner in Barbados. The total number of Guyana shop corners in operation is 82 to date. We have seen the Guyana shop corner, the revenue increase tremendously. Also, we have seen new agro-processing facility established in places like Hope. We have established a new dehydrating facility at Hope in Region 4 here. Whitewater agro-processing facility in Region 1. Kumaka packaging facility in Region 1. So these are the areas that we have been working in to increase our produce, local produce in these areas. In the D&I system, we have seen a revolution taking place. We have procured over the last year 37 new hydraulic equipment, including amphibious, mini and long reach excavators. This will contribute to rehabilitation and maintenance of the D&I system across the country. Places like the Pomeroon, we have seen thousands of acres of land being developed in the Pomeroon. We know for a fact that that area used to encounter serious difficulties in flooding. We have started a process there where we start to improve the bed and drain. We start to lift the farmer's bed so that they could avoid flooding. We have did block drainage in the Pomeroon, but more importantly, we have expended approximately $500 million to dredge the Pomeroon River. So we're having better facilities there. We have already put in 4 excavators